Hi, it's Therese from Lostinpaper, and today I'm going to share some tips with you on how to stamp long, thin stamps. Alright, so this is the perfect set to share some tips for this technique. I've got the Plaid Maker stamp set. It's an Essentials by Ellen set, and it's a great set because you can create your own plaids and you can create your own tartans in whatever colour to suit your projects. And I've got 4 different ways that I straighten my stamps. Starting with, drop it on the mat, pick it up with a block and then fiddle with it until it's straight. This is the technique that I sadly say I usually use, and after doing this little tip for you today, I've realized this is the hardest way of doing it. Because sometimes it works out straight away, other times it takes me ages. The second way that I do it is to drop it on the mat with the stamp side down again. It kind of always lands on a bit of an angle, and then I use a ruler to straighten the stamp and then pick it up with a nice long block. I tend to actually put the stamp closer to the edge of the block, and that gives me a line to work against to see if it's straight, and plus I find it easier to see when I'm stamping it out when it's not sort of in the middle of the block. Technique 3, lie it down again, straighten it up with the ruler, and this time I'm using this is the big compact, no it's not, it's the large stamp press. Picking up the stamp, I can see on the grid lines whether it's straight or not, and I actually don't like to have the stamp along a line, because when I'm actually stamping out my patterns or designs, I find it easier to have a line beside it, and that way I know I'm getting each time I'm stamping it, it'll be straight. Speaking of lines, here's my 4th and final way. I have a block with the grid lines already etched on it. I drop the stamp, straighten it out and pick it up on the block in between the grid lines again, and I can just see by looking at it that it's straight. These stamps tend to land on a bit of a funny angle, so you might have noticed that as I was picking up the stamps, I was kind of rolling my block onto it, and I find that way I get the most contact with the back of the stamp. Because it's the photopolymer, it'll stick to the back of the block and hold nice and strong. I hope that helps. Now I'm going to make a plaid and a card. I thought while I'm here stamping, I'm going to do that, and the reason I'm here today is because it's a new release for the Essentials by Ellen collection, and it's time for some latte love, but I'll be sharing that with you in a moment. Like I said, with this Plaid Maker set, you can actually make the pattern any colour that you want, and that's what I love. You can match your project perfectly, and you can make it as busy or as simple as you want. I didn't use the straight long thin stamp, the line stamp in this one. I decided to go with the one that looks like a stitched line, but I just picked it up in the same manner that I showed you earlier in the video. I'm using some Catherine Pooler inks, the Rockin' Red and some Blackjack. Instead of using a solid black, this is just a little bit, it's a dark grey really, and these inks always stamp beautifully. I'm still getting used to not tapping them real hard because it's a foam style pad, but it's still a dye ink. So heaps of fun bright colours, and as always, Catherine Pooler's always releasing more colours, and now she's got mini ink pads, and I think I need them too. So I've stamped out the cup and saucer from the Latte Love set, and I'm making a reverse mask. Like, I'm cutting out the center of the cup because I'm wanting to add some color to the center of the cup. So this is just some stamp masking paper, and I just shoved my scissors in the middle to make a hole and cut that out. Easy. and then I can just lay it over the top of the image, and then when I colour within that negative space, it's only going to colour in where the coffee would be in the cup. But I did add something to the cup before. And speaking of adding something, did you hear that noise? That was my cat jumping around on her scratching pole. You okay, doll? So can you guess what's in the cup? You probably saw the photo at the beginning. You know already, don't you? I'm all excited because there's a cat in my cup. Because it's a cappuccino. Julie cracks me up. This is so cool. Anyway, so I came in with my distress inks and blending foam. Added that. I didn't think it was dark enough. Anyway, so I'm looking at it for a while. I did stamp this in some tuxedo black because I knew I wanted to add some shading with my Copic markers. But then to add some extra colour, and I didn't even think of it at the time, but I could have used my blender pen. I could have used my distress markers. But no, I've got this little tooly thing. It's just a foam thing. I could have used a Q-tip just to pick up a small amount of colour and add some depth around the edge of the coffee, and I think that worked well. And can you see my cat? Isn't it cute? So being a cat, I was initially thinking coffee splats on the tablecloth, which is now what the plaid is, just in case you hadn't worked that out. No. And then I was looking through my stamp sets and I saw the cat prints. And that's from the Cat Lady, Leading Lady set. And I thought that was just perfect. It made my day. I just love this card. I've added some foam to the back of the panel. And to cut off the excess of the panel, I just flipped my whole card over, grabbed some long straight scissors and just cut it away. I've made another card using this awesome set, and it's a totally different style of card, and I have it at my blog. The link will be in the description below, so I'd love it if you'd head there and see what you think. It's a baby card, nothing to do with coffee. Anyway, take a peek and tell me what you think. If you like this video, please like it, and if you haven't already, it would be awesome if you could subscribe to my channel and join me here for my next video. Till then, happy paper crafting. Bye.